What if I told you that 12 powerful principles, forged in the wisdom of ancient Rome and Greece, could completely transform your life starting today? Imagine possessing the mental fortitude to remain calm during life's storms, the clarity to make decisions that truly matter, and the resilience to turn every setback into a stepping stone. These aren't just philosophical concepts gathering dust in history books. They're practical tools that have guided emperors, slaves, and countless individuals through humanity's greatest challenges. Stoicism offers us a blueprint for living, with purpose, strength, and unshakable inner peace, no matter what chaos surrounds us. Today, we're diving deep into 12 transformative Stoic principles that can revolutionize how you think, act, and experience life itself. If you're ready to forge an unbreakable mindset and transform your approach to life's challenges, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join our community at Stoic Forge, where we're building stronger, wiser, and more resilient versions of ourselves every single day. Let's begin this transformation together. The first principle that can instantly change your life is understanding the fundamental difference between what you can control and what you cannot. This isn't just ancient wisdom. It's a revolutionary way of thinking that can eliminate most of your stress and anxiety in a single moment. When you're stuck in traffic, fuming about being late, you're wasting precious mental energy on something completely outside your influence. The traffic exists, the delay is real, but your response to it, that's entirely within your power. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the Roman Empire while practicing Stoicism, understood this deeply when he wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events, and realizing this gives you strength. Every moment you spend frustrated by circumstances beyond your control is a moment stolen from focusing on what you can actually change: your thoughts, your actions, your character. This principle transforms victims into victors, reactive people into proactive forces. When you truly internalize this concept, you'll find yourself naturally gravitating towards solutions rather than dwelling on problems, investing energy in meaningful action rather than wasteful worry. The second transformative principle is viewing every obstacle as an opportunity for growth and learning. This might sound counterintuitive when you're facing rejection, failure, or disappointment, but it's perhaps the most powerful shift in perspective you can make. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. These words from Marcus Aurelius reveal the secret that successful people have known for millennia. Every challenge contains within it the seeds of strength, wisdom, and character development. When you lose a job, instead of asking why this happened to you, ask what skills you can develop, what new directions you can explore, what this experience is teaching you about resilience. When relationships end, rather than wallowing in self-pity, see it as an opportunity to understand yourself better, to practice emotional regulation, to learn what you truly value in human connections. This principle doesn't make obstacles disappear, but it transforms them from barriers into bridges, from problems into possibilities. The person who masters this mindset becomes unstoppable because they understand that every setback is actually a setup for a comeback. The third principle involves mastering the art of living in the present moment. Your mind is constantly pulling you in two directions, toward regrets about the past and anxieties about the future. But life is happening right now, in this very second. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Advised, Marcus Aurelius, understanding that the present is where all your power resides. When you're fully present, you can appreciate the richness of your current experience. Make clear decisions based on actual reality rather than imagined scenarios, and respond to situations with wisdom rather than react from past conditioning. This doesn't mean ignoring lessons from the past or planning for the future, but rather ensuring that these activities don't consume your present awareness. Present moment living transforms ordinary experiences into extraordinary ones. A simple conversation becomes deeper, a meal becomes more satisfying, a walk in nature becomes a meditation. The quality of your life is directly proportional to how present you are in each moment. The fourth principle is developing unshakable self-discipline through conscious choice-making. Self-discipline isn't about depriving yourself or living a joyless existence. It's about choosing what you want most over what you want now. Every day presents countless opportunities to either move toward your goals or drift away from them, and self-discipline is the force that keeps you on course. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, taught Marcus Aurelius, emphasizing that true freedom comes from self-mastery. When you choose the workout over the couch, savings over impulse purchases, learning over mindless entertainment, you're building the muscle of self-control that serves you in every area of life. Start small. Choose one area where you want to improve and commit to consistent daily action. Each disciplined choice strengthens your willpower and builds momentum toward bigger transformations. Self-discipline becomes easier with practice because you start experiencing the satisfaction of keeping promises to yourself, the pride of progress, the joy of becoming the person you've always wanted to be. The fifth principle focuses on building emotional resilience through understanding and managing your inner world. Emotions are natural and necessary, but they don't have to control your actions or dictate your decisions. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This Stoic truth applies especially to emotional mastery. When anger arises, acknowledge it without being consumed by it. When fear appears, feel it without being paralyzed by it. When sadness visits, honor it without being defined by it. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing feelings, but about developing the space between stimulus and response, between what happens to you and how you choose to act. This space is where your power lives, where wisdom operates, where character is built. Practice observing your emotions like weather patterns. They come and go, they have their purpose, but they don't have to derail your journey. The person who masters their emotional world becomes unshakable because they understand that feelings are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. The sixth principle embraces the powerful practice of memento mori, remembering that life is finite and precious. This isn't about becoming morbid or depressed, but about using the reality of mortality as motivation to live fully and authentically. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, wrote Marcus Aurelius, not to frighten but to inspire purposeful living. When you truly understand that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on trivial concerns, meaningless grudges, and pointless worries. You prioritize relationships over possessions, experiences over accumulations, character development over external validation. Memento mori brings urgency to your dreams and clarity to your values. It helps you ask the important questions. If I only had 1 year to live, how would I spend it? What would I say to the people I love? What legacy would I want to leave? This principle transforms procrastination into action, resentment into forgiveness, taking for granted into deep appreciation. Live each day as if it matters, because it does. The seventh principle cultivates a deep practice of gratitude that transforms your entire perspective on life. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you. It's a fundamental shift in how you view your circumstances, relationships, and experiences. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Counseled Marcus Aurelius, understanding that gratitude is the foundation of contentment. Instead of focusing on what's missing from your life, deliberately notice what's present and working well. Your health, shelter, relationships, opportunities, even the challenges that are helping you grow, all deserve recognition and appreciation. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice positivity, builds resilience during difficult times, and attracts more good things into your experience. Make it a daily practice to identify 3 things you're grateful for and watch how this simple habit transforms your outlook from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to celebration. The grateful person lives in a rich world because they recognize the wealth that already surrounds them. The eighth principle demands a relentless focus on personal excellence rather than external validation or comparison with others. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, declared Marcus Aurelius, emphasizing that excellence is about embodying your values rather than defending them. Your worth isn't determined by likes, followers, achievements relative to others, or external recognition. It's built through the daily practice of becoming the best version of yourself. Set your own standards based on your values, not society's expectations. Measure your progress against your past self, not other people's highlight reels. Excellence is about integrity when no one is watching. Kindness when it's not convenient. Persistence when others give up. Learning when you could coast. Focus on crafting your character, developing your skills, honoring your commitments to yourself. The person committed to personal excellence becomes magnetic because they radiate the confidence that comes from knowing they're living authentically and growing consistently. The ninth principle liberates you from the exhausting need for external approval by anchoring your self-worth in internal values and authentic self-expression. I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others, observed Marcus Aurelius, highlighting the paradox of seeking validation from those whose opinions we should value less than our own. Your worth isn't determined by how many people like your social media posts, approve of your choices, or understand your dreams. It's determined by how well you know yourself, how consistently you act according to your values, how courageously you express your authentic truth. When you stop performing for others' approval and start living for your own integrity, you discover a freedom that external validation can never provide. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or becoming arrogant, but rather grounding your sense of self in principles that remain stable regardless of others' changing opinions. The person who has learned to validate themselves from within becomes unshakable because their worth isn't dependent on the fickle approval of others. The 10th principle teaches you to embrace change as the natural rhythm of life rather than resist it as an unwelcome disruption. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs, advised Marcus Aurelius, understanding that change isn't happening to you but for you. Everything in nature is in constant flux. Seasons change, people grow, circumstances evolve, and trying to hold on to any particular state causes suffering. Instead of fearing change, learn to dance with it. See transitions as opportunities for growth, endings as beginnings in disguise, challenges as chances to develop new strengths. When you lose a job, it might lead to a better opportunity. When relationships change, it might create space for deeper connections. When plans fall through, it might open doors you never knew existed. The person who accepts change as natural becomes adaptable, resilient, and open to life's endless possibilities. They understand that the river of life keeps flowing, and it's easier to navigate with the current than against it. The 11th principle extends your circle of concern beyond yourself to include understanding, compassion, and empathy for others. What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee, taught Marcus Aurelius, recognizing that our well-being is interconnected with the well-being of others. In a world that often encourages self-centeredness and competition, choosing compassion becomes a radical act of wisdom. Everyone you encounter is fighting battles you know nothing about, carrying burdens you can't see, doing their best with the resources and understanding they have. When someone cuts you off in traffic, they might be rushing to the hospital. When a coworker seems irritable, they might be dealing with personal struggles. When someone disagrees with you, they might be operating from completely different experiences and values. This doesn't mean accepting harmful behavior, but rather approaching Others with curiosity rather than judgment, understanding rather than condemnation. Compassion makes you more attractive, builds stronger relationships, and creates a positive ripple effect in the world. The compassionate person lives in a friendlier world because they contribute to making it so. The 12th and final principle establishes a regular practice of reflection and self-examination as the foundation for continuous growth and course correction. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, reminded Marcus Aurelius, understanding that unexamined thoughts lead to unexamined lives. Each day offers countless experiences, lessons, and opportunities for growth, but these benefits are lost without deliberate reflection. Set aside time regularly, daily if possible, to review your actions, thoughts, and reactions. What went well today? Where did you fall short of your values? What did you learn about yourself? How can you improve tomorrow? This isn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and continuous improvement. Like a ship's captain regularly checking their course and making adjustments, regular reflection ensures you're heading in the direction of your values and goals. Write in a journal, meditate on your experiences, or simply take quiet moments to process your day. The person who practices regular reflection becomes wise because they learn not just from their experiences, but from their understanding of those experiences. These 12 Stoic principles aren't just concepts to understand intellectually, they're tools to be wielded daily in the forge of real life. Each principle builds upon the others, creating a comprehensive approach to living with wisdom, strength, and purpose. Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen one choice at a time, one principle at a time, one day at a time. The person who commits to practicing these principles will find themselves becoming more resilient in the face of challenges, more peaceful during chaos, more focused on what truly matters, and more aligned with their deepest values. This is the path of the modern Stoic, not a cold, emotionless existence, but a life of passionate purpose, guided by timeless wisdom. As you leave here today, I encourage you to choose one principle that resonates most strongly and commit to practicing it for the next week. Notice how this single change begins to transform your experience, then gradually incorporate the others. Your journey toward mastery begins with a single step, taken with intention and sustained with commitment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Stoic wisdom. And remember, at Stoic Forge, we're not just learning about strength, we're building it every single day.